On 9/11, I was at my desk in my office.
I started my morning at Tim Hortons coffee shop.
All of a sudden, someone came running into our office and said, "Turn on the television."
Shock, absolute shock.
I thought it was some HBO movie. And then I saw the legend CNN.
When the first tower collapsed, I just felt completely sick.
The world had changed at that moment. As an Indian journalist, I have seen terrorism and terror attacks before, but nothing on this scale.
Little did we know at that time that the role that Gander would play for the next 4 or 5 days after.
For lots of British Muslims, our entire identities were turned upside down.
You know, it affected Gavin, who was one of my best friends and I'd known for such a long time and had such high hopes for his future. And that future was all gone. I watched it. I had the feeling that he would get out. I knew he worked on the top floor of the North Tower, and I felt he'll walk down the stairs. That's what he'll do. And in fact, his body was found on the 23rd floor staircase. So he had actually been, doing his best to get out of the building. People were horrified and shocked and full of disbelief that something so huge could have happened.
I got a call from the city manager. He said, "You better come into the office. The United States is going to close their airspace and Canada has agreed to take all the airplanes that's in the air." Well, I guess the first reaction was, wow, we got 7,000 people here and we got 500 hotel rooms. How are we going to handle this? Town came together, and I mean the whole town, everybody that lives there. I mean, it was just overwhelming, the people that was coming out offering their homes, their food. What seemed like it was going to be a monumental task was really not. The musical Come From Away was created because of what happened here in Gander. And people are saying, wow, this is the way we all should be.
I had flown on September 10 to New Delhi. I momentarily panicked because I'm a journalist, I'm a US correspondent, I'm supposed to be in Washington, D.C. or in the US somewhere. But I ended up going to the office that evening, helping produce the edition. The headline was America Attacked. I remember that page very vividly. It still shakes me. I mean, that something like that, could have happened. It's one of those things you wake up and say, did that really happen? This whole new idea of war on terror, as Bush termed it. And it was just an unending, new cycle.
So the 9/11 atrocities in America definitely shaped my life. They made me feel like I didn't belong anymore in my own country, in the UK. Immediately after the terrorist attacks, so we're talking about 24 hours after it happened, my late dad was immediately attacked. People were swearing at him, calling him a Taliban. Islamophobia definitely became very much part of my daily life. It should have been a moment where we started to learn how to live together as human beings and how to create a fairer and more just world. But it hasn't led to that, sadly.
Well, I think looking back over the last 20 years, I don't think our world has gotten any safer. I think if nothing, it's gotten worse. So much hatred out there, and it's creeping in all parts of the society, even in our little country of Canada.
The next 20 years have to be much better. We have to work harder to find justice for everyone.
I'd like to say something positive, but I'm not sure I really can. I miss him terribly, and the other thousands of people who died as well. They would have all made such a contribution to other people's lives, just as Gavin would have done.